Good morning, good morning. Happy Memorial Day. Yesterday for you, Memorial Day today for me in the United States. Our granddaughter went home last night, so it's very quiet. The people are still renting the house next door. I think they're leaving today. Mostly. We had 2 scary boat accidents this weekend on the lake, which, with the amount of people moving up here and the amount of people coming here for vacations, there's more and more Airbnbs up here. And when I say up here, I live on Lake Murray in South Carolina. Center of the state. Columbia's in the center. Lake Murray is exactly to the right. It's a man-made lake in the 30s, I'm thinking. Damming up 2 rivers, the Saluda River. Maybe just the Saluda River. I don't remember. Anyhow. Used in World War II for bombing practices. A huge lake, 500 miles of shoreline. And I've lived here for 27-ish years. My husband's lived here for 31-ish years. This area has changed tremendously. It is booming. Booming. It's 20 minutes from downtown Columbia. My husband's office was 25, well, not 20 minutes maybe. My husband's office was 25 miles from our door to his door, which was across the street from the state capitol building. Now he's working from home. Gave up his office for the first time in his 42 years or so of practicing alcohol law. And it's crazy. And the more and more people we see coming up here that do not know how to handle boats, that party way too much while driving a boat, we see more and more and more and more accidents. So sad. So sad. I don't think anybody was killed. We usually have a couple people killed in boating accidents every year. Memorial Day is the big, huge kickoff for us, and it ends after Labor Day. As a general rule, that used to be traditional, flat. That was the rules. Unwritten. I don't know why I'm just saying all this. I don't know why. But more and more people live up here permanently now. This used to be just a vacation spot. It's just booming. But the more people that move up here are the more people that don't know boats and don't know the rules of lake life. And the old timers like us stay home on Memorial Day. We definitely stay home on 4th of July. We never take our boat out on 4th of July weekend or whatever weekend is with the big, wherever it falls with the big fireworks displays and all that kind of stuff. Of course, last year was completely different for everything. This year, South Carolina was not hit tremendously hard with COVID. It was hit hard. Half of our people don't believe it's real, which is insane. But they choose to base their COVID opinions by politics, which is crazy. But that's how it is. South is way behind in a lot of things. And I choose to not believe that stuff. I choose to believe it's very real since I had it. My husband had it. And we are vaccinated. The people that are going to get vaccinated in South Carolina, which that's a whole nother story, are pretty well vaccinated. When it got to the point where it was 60 and below, or I think it was like 55 and below for us, 34% of those people are choosing to get vaccinated. Insane. But the people 55 and above, I think it was like 78 or 80% choose vaccination. Yesterday we went to Walmart. We had to grab a couple things, turtle food. If you see my Instagram, you'll see that we have turtles here. Our granddaughter caught 3 of them, but thankfully she took them home to her mom's house. But I need to get busy here. But lost my train of thought. This happens all the time anymore. Am I getting old? I think so. Oh, at Walmart, I forgot a mask. That was the first time in over a year, almost a year and a half, that I have been out without a mask. But the rules here now in South Carolina is if you've been vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask. But I feel like I want to still wear a mask, and I have everywhere except for yesterday. to Walmart, which we went in the morning, so it wasn't as crowded. But a good bit of the people were not wearing masks. There were some. I still want to wear a mask because I still feel like I could be a carrier and pass it on to somebody else, and I would not want to do that. I want a mask that says, yes, I'm vaccinated, but I'm protecting you. But I can't find one like that so far. I'll make my own. Yes, I'm wearing a mask, but I'm vaccinated, but I'm protecting you. Okay, so I got, we're in a jungle, as with most parts of this part of the world that Michael Palin is in. That's the book we're working out of, this book. Traveling by Book. This was a series in 1997 on the BBC. He wrote books that correspond to the trips. And he's in Malaysia, and he's in a place where he's got mosquito nets and blah, 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 blah. He is in Nanga Sumpa Sarawak in Malaysia. If I pronounce that wrong and you live there, I'm so sorry. But this was funny. He's sound asleep, and he's in almost like a hammock bed, but it's got a mosquito netting around him. At least because I've watched the series several times on the BBC and on YouTube. And I love watching them over and over again. I can watch these travel shows, all kinds of travel shows, over and over again. But he's not been in and out of rice paddy areas for very long. He's in jungle areas right now. And it says day 111, a loud thwack shakes the roof of the guest house where we sleep. Then another, closer, to be followed by a third, directly above my head. It's like an aerial bombardment in which none of the shells explode. I extricate myself from the mosquito net and peer out gingerly. It was mango fruit falling out of the trees. I think that's great. That's what I would do. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? Not that I'm not that frighteningly scary of everything. But so anyhow, I pulled out from this book, Places to Know, which is a book I got at a thrift store. It's a child's, like, old-fashioned Wikipedia. But they used to sell these at grocery stores. So if you bought like $100, you could get one of these free. You would collect one every week. When I was a kid, I don't know how old this book is. Let me see. I'm pretty sure it's like from the 80s. This particular one. Oh, 1979. I was 1 year off. Okay, so I got a black and white picture of a rice paddy on the side of a hill. And I'm going to put this in not for content, but for texture. And that's all I know so far. So let's see what I do. One more little tiny thing. I don't know if I told you yesterday, but we got a shock collar for our dog, much to my dismay, as a training tool. And we put it on yesterday for the first time. He's extremely unruly, extremely. You walk in the house and he starts chewing on your clothes. He starts chewing on your feet. He's chewing on your hands. He's chewing on your hair. And he was to the point where he was frantic. Everything had to go in his mouth and he had to chew on it. And he has baby teeth and it hurts. I know he's a puppy. He's 5 months old. But we've had two instances where people have come into the house. The lady that works with my husband and somebody else, our granddaughter, who loves him to death, but he's bitten her, tiny bites. He's tore a hole in my finger right on this little hinge right here, knuckle. He bit the lady that works with my husband, because she comes here in the mornings twice a week maybe to, they do a chat thing to catch up on their files, and the rest of the week they Zoom it. But I was like, this dog is unruly. He was getting to the point where it was not pleasant to be with him, and I'm like, have we made a mistake? Are we too old to have a dog? I don't know. I was really, really frustrated last week with this dog. So anyhow, after he bit the lady that works with him, not bite, he didn't tear the skin, but he did hurt her. And she's got a 100-pound lab, so she's not a puppy. So she's not opposed to dogs at all. And she was fine. He said, I'm getting a shock collar. I'm like, oh God, I do not approve of those things at all. This one has 3 settings: a beeper, a vibrator, and shock. And the shock, it's geared towards his weight. This one is for 5 to 15 pounds, and he's right at like 11 now. Um, we have not used the shock. And even if it is, it's kind of, the description describes it as walking across a carpet and touching something, that kind of shock. It has 2 little metal prongs that you work it with the remote control, and it'll shock him just for a slight, minuscule second to kind of alert him. And then along with that, you say no to his bad behavior. We have not done the shock part. We have only done the vibrating, and and we only started it yesterday. He's like a brand new dog, He's calm. He's getting loving attention. He has not chewed on anything, except his toys. He has unbelievably, and we have probably hit him with the vibrating part 6 or 7 times maybe throughout the day yesterday, all along saying no at the same time. And now this morning he started, because we have a little routine. I get coffee and kind of catch up on the news and things like that with my iPad. And I have fed him, and he sits with me. Last week he couldn't even stay with me. I had to put him back in his pen because he was just unruly. This yesterday morning and today, he sat with me both mornings, just sitting there chewing on his little bone, like a sweet dog. I was like, did we break him? I don't know. But right now, he's a pure joy, and back to the little dog we got when we first got him. So cross your fingers that continues, because honestly, I was to the point where I'm like, do we need to think about rehoming him? Because he was crazy. But I think the shock collar is going to work, and we haven't even used the shock, so that's good. That's good. All right, now I'm going to go forward with what I don't know yet, but day 111, mangoes falling on your roof of your longhouse in the jungle. All right, so I think I mentioned that I was using this picture mainly for texture, even though it's pretty close to where he is currently. But I've torn the corners that are hanging off, and I'm going to reposition them, not in the order they came off, but reposition them in these blank corners to continue the edge of the spread, I guess is what I'm looking at. And this is my journaling, and I'm inking the edge blue. And now I'm looking for stuff to add to this. Don't know where I'm going. But I remembered I have all these tiny little books, and I just ordered some more. Don't tell anybody. I ordered 2 more this morning, off of that same Etsy shop, Wintertime Crafts. They're in California, and she has a lot of things that are from Asia. And I love these. I don't know why, I just love these little tiny tablets. I don't know. But I have a ton of ephemera, and I'm trying to use it diligently. And this journal is coming out with good ways to use it. So I got a bunch of vellum pictures out of one of these little tablets, and I'm putting them on top of a dictionary page from another ephemera pack. And it's kind of giving the vellum 2 dimensions. There's writing underneath, and there's writing in the vellum. And that's as far as I've got in my head where I'm going. And then I'm going to cut them up or tear them apart and use them as some kind of collage fodder. But I don't know where, and I don't know how, still to this point, although I do still love the idea of creating a continuous flow and trail. And that's kind of what I've liked lately, and a lot, so that's what I'm going with. I found one that I forgot to put on the page, so that gets put down. Vellum is hard to glue. I always have problems with vellum, and I'm really sloppy with my glue. Not as diligent as I should be. I'm still going with some more circles with this large circle punch, and I'm using 3 just because I like the odd number of it. I think I end up using some more. Then it was getting a little bit too regimented, and I'm just going with it. So I'm hiding circles, tucking circles under things. Don't want them exactly in the same spots or underneath the same amount of layers. So um, I added some more vellum layer on top with this label packet that I got from Wintertime Crafts at some point too. Um, and the scrap can go and be used also. It's not exactly an oval or a circle, but there's squares in this thing too, so that's good. And by the time this is all done, just layering and creating a trail that is all kind of interconnected, because he's kind of creating trails across the Pacific Rim, right? Right. Love this. Love this. This book. I went through it again this morning, volume 1, and what we have so far in volume 2. It's changed quite a bit, but I'm really, really loving this. Super loving this. In fact, today is June 1st. How can it already be June 1st? I do not know. But my aesthetic has certainly changed a lot since Halloween in 2020. I don't know if that was, well, I do know it's Robin McClendon's fault. She got me into a more natural palette, but it's not forever. I know, because I still love the bright colors. In fact, that was a piece of paper I was supposed to use. So I love the layering, I love the connecting of it all, and I love this style. So thanks for watching. I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.